You read the title right. It's Superfan Saturday, and we have Bills Vader on the show. Superfan Saturday, what it's all about. It's all about the fan base, the best fan base in the world, to be exact. Bills Mafia. Bills Vader, how you doing today?
I'm doing well today. How are you?
I'm pretty great. I'm excited to get this show rolling, and we've got a lot to talk about. I think the first thing that we should talk about, it's only fitting, getting Bills Mafia's perspective, some other fan base, some other fans from this great fan base. I gotta ask, how does it feel to be AFC East division champions?
Well, as far as my experience, it feels absolutely amazing. Having grown up in the '90s, because I was born in the '80s, so I remember the glory years. I remember some of the drought years, and just seeing how everything is transpiring before our very eyes. It's a great feeling. People always talk about, oh, you all lost 4 Super Bowls and blah 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 blah. Whenever they're losing a football argument. But you know what? I mean, with the best fan base in the NFL, awesome players, a great organization, and everything that they've been doing these last 3 to 4 years, it's definitely rewarding to see us finally back on top where we belong.
Yeah, I mean, it's unexplored territory for me. In my lifetime, the time that I've watched football, just to give you a hint of how old I am, I've never witnessed us win a division championship. I mean, I've been watching years and years of course football up until the last couple of years. There was like the Patriots have just been dominant the whole way through, and this is just the start of new beginnings for me, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. The AFC East is finally ours, and as you said, best fan base in the world because we put up with a lot of crazy weather. We put up with a 17-year drought, and we all stayed loyal throughout.
That's very true. I agree.
So I'm gonna ask some questions about you because Superfan Saturdays, it's about the guests. You, Bills Vader today. I gotta ask, what inspired you to make the suit?
Well, I've told people before I deployed to Afghanistan in 2013 and 2014, and before that time, when I joined right out of high school, I was out of football for a while. The last quarterback that I really paid attention to was Doug Flutie. Everything after that, I was so busy with everything, and I just it just kind of went to the wayside. Once I got back from that deployment, it brought some things into perspective. I'll put it that much. And with that perspective came the idea, hey, I really need to get back into what I used to love, what I used to enjoy, and that being Buffalo Bills football. So I came back and I thought of the idea, well, how can I dress up? I just want to do something different. Because I've seen all these other people, dress up as super fans and everything. I didn't even know what a super fan was at the time. So I decided, let me just put on a cheap Vader helmet and a cape with my jersey and go out with my kids to take them to their first football game. And that was around 2014, 2015. That was the preseason game against the Redskins. And at the time, my son, who he was a Redskins fan at the time, and I'm like, oh, okay, we need to change this. I can't have this. So fast forward to my deployment to Saudi Arabia in 2017 to 2018. I came and then that's when I saw Pancho Villa's story, and he really inspired me to kind of go a little bit further with my outfit. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all out. So I started getting the armor, the helmet, the boots, cape, everything, and painted everything myself, built everything myself into what you see today. I figured why not just combine the Bills and Star Wars because I love them both, and here we are.
Well, I gotta say thank you for serving our country, and just like Joseph Clark says here, respect to him. Thank you for serving our country. Very appreciative of that, and it's an awesome story you just said because it's like it just shows that you combine your two loves of football and Star Wars. I love both these things too. So when I saw you at that Bills game, I'm just like, that's very representative of a lot of things that I love. I got to get a picture with this guy. I'm going to show you the Bills Vader photo I got with you last year. This
Hmm.
was from the Denver game.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
remember that. I remember that. That was an awesome day.
that was an awesome game for sure.
Yeah,
Frank Gore moved past Barry Sanders for third all time
yeah.
rushing lead, and we won by a score of 20-3. But you're saying about your uniforms and stuff. How many different variations do you have?
Uh, it kind of depends. I have all pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I have just some jeans and a T-shirt for St. Patrick's Day. I have a camouflage outfit for Salute to Service. I have all red for the Color Rush games. And then I also have a Vietnam style jacket that I have a whole bunch of patches on because I, asked to be part of Pancho Army's army. So that's pretty cool. So I have, that outfit also. I actually made a TikTok kind of mimicking choosing your fight character in a fight game, and it kind of swipes through all the different types of outfits. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun.
I love that. I love that. How much time would go into making one of those helmets, like transforming it into a Bills helmet?
Oh gosh. So it all kind of depends. I'm gonna have to probably buy a eighth helmet. Actually, the display I think showed six or so, but I actually have seven. Because the seventh one is going to be a Zubaz pattern, so I'm still kind of perfecting how I'm gonna paint that one. But but yeah, I mean, I just usually just do everything spray painting, get everything how I want it to look with the lines, buy some decals, or I'll just print the decals out myself, depending on the level of quality of the decal that I want, and I just go from there and just try to take as good care of it as I can.
Oh, that's an extreme talent to spray paint that helmet. Wow, that's
Yeah, I mean, I do like painting on the side. I mean, for those that are familiar with the tabletop game Warhammer 40K, I actually do a lot of painting with the figurines of the different models with that. Something is kind of corny. I mean, it's all well and good. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. It definitely helped to establish a lot of patience during some dark years. So, but yeah, but I found I had a knack for painting, so I figure why not expand on it and go from there.
I'm gonna show some comments here because we're getting a lot of love from Bill's Mafia for you. Your helmets are amazing. I gotta agree, they're outstanding.
Oh,
Outstanding
yeah, I
design.
appreciate it.
Helmet collection is sweet. Let's go, Bills. This man is awesome. Bills Vader is the man.
Well,
Um,
honestly, I always tell people all the time I'm no different than any other fan. I just happen to just dress up, and I mean I'm all about bringing people together, having a good time. I'm not trying to make money off the character or anything. I'm not trying to look for any type of special attention or anything. I'm honestly about bringing people together, regardless of your background, race, religion, politics, all that. I'm not about negativity. I'm all about what's being positive and what's important. And what's important is love and family and togetherness. And the mafia is a family. The mafia is a movement.
it is.
If people don't see what we're doing with donations, with taking over stadiums, with tailgating, that is that's the soul of what Buffalo is. And I just try to bring a little piece of that to other people. So if I can do that, then I'm happy.
Yeah, like you said, it's all about bringing people together. I love that, and sports in general, like that's a big thing of what we've seen with this pandemic and everything that's going on in the world. Like it's been a tough year for a lot of people, and when sports were missing, that it hurt. It hurt a lot, and when they came back, it's just that feeling of togetherness. Even though we can't be at the stadium together, we all really want to get back there. It's just that was missing, and it feels amazing to have football back and to have this success from the Buffalo Bills this year.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
And just to, I'm going to show the atmosphere that we're missing because I can't wait to get back into this stadium.
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait for that. I
Yeah,
can't wait to get back.
I miss being there so much. It makes you. It just gives you a sense of pride and joy inside. I can't wait till we get back there.
It does for sure. I gotta ask, how many times a year do you try to get to games in Buffalo?
So I try to go to as many games as I possibly can. The first actual home game I went to was against the Jaguars, and that was my actual, I guess you could say, debut of my Bills Vader outfit. And I want to say that was about maybe, I want to say it was like 3 years ago, maybe. I might my years might be off, but and that's when I accidentally ran into Bill Stormtrooper, and it was the funniest thing. I'm just walking around the parking lot before the game starts. I have my flag, and next thing I know, I hear this group saying, "Oh my gosh, stay right there, stay right there." And I'm like, "Oh, sure, sure, what's up?" And then I hit, like, Bill, you gotta hurry up. So I guess he was getting changed and everything. He finally comes out. He's like, "What's going on?" And then he sees me and I see him. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta get a picture." And we became Facebook friends ever since. I usually park in lot 7, so that way I can meet up with him and we get some pictures together with some people and just kind of hang out and chill. We were in, I think, close to the same section one year. He has a Color Rush outfit. I got a Color Rush outfit. So, he's a great guy, and the people that he hangs out with and has introduced me to also, they're really good people. So, but yeah, I try to get out there, to as many games as I can, to include away games. This is my first year as a season ticket holder. So, I mean, we see how that worked out. But I was also hoping that for the games that I was unable to attend, I could donate that seat to a first timer that's never been to a game, or maybe donate it to a breast cancer survivor in October, or a military veteran in November. So, I have some ideas to do with that, just to kind of give back. So, but I try to get to as many games as I can.
That's awesome, and just like you're saying, you want to give back in as many ways as possible, and that's something that it seems like it's a pattern with our fan base. Like our fan base is very giving. You saw what happened with Josh Allen's grandmother passing,
Yeah.
and our fan base raised over $17,000 for a children's hospital. It's just things like that that separate this fan base from others. But I gotta ask you another question. So you were saying Bill Stormtrooper, your guy, Bill Stormtrooper. Do you think that we could get the two of you guys on here one time?
Oh, I'm sure he could. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, we got Bill Stormtrooper, we got Mafia Mando, we got a Bill's Chewbacca, we got Bill's Leia. I know there's a guy. He messaged me. He wants to be a Bill's Jedi. There's another woman who wants to be a Bill's clone trooper. I tell people all the time. I look, do your thing. Do what you want to do. I mean, if we have like a little mini empire or rebels or whatever, I mean, it'd be great. But yeah, I'm sure that if you ever reached out to him, we can get a group of us together sometime. It would be pretty fun.
That'd be awesome. I'm gonna show. I never did anything like Star Wars or anything. That's very original. I love that idea that you guys had. This is what I did when I was a kid. This is north of the border in Toronto. I painted my hair red, white, and blue.
Nice,
I'm gonna be doing that for the playoffs this year.
awesome,
Super,
awesome.
super excited for the playoffs. But I gotta ask you, going into the playoffs, what are your expectations for the Buffalo Bills?
So I was talking to my buddy Santiago the other day. He's stationed over in Germany. We were in the military together, and and come to find out he was a Bills fan. And he actually made a really good point that well, I know I'm excited for the season. He is more excited about winning playoff games, and I absolutely agree. The last 2 years, we've made it to the playoffs via wild card, and we were knocked out, of the first round. I think last year, I'm sure a lot of Bills fans are going to agree, we were gypped. We were totally gypped, but it is what it is. But this year, we progressed. We are the AFC champions. There should be no reason why we don't win at least one playoff game, especially at home, especially with the number 2 seed. If we're going to be hosting a game, and that game, let's say if the playoffs were today and it's against the Dolphins, there should be no reason why we lose against the Dolphins.
You should squish
There should be no reason why we lose the second game. There should be no reason why we don't make it to the AFC Championship at least. That's just my personal opinion. Now, I personally believe that we will make it to the Super Bowl. I called it at the start of the season. I called it last summer. We will make it to the Super Bowl. The way that we've been playing, it's just been spectacular. So my expectation is that we will win playoff games, get to the AFC Championship, and make it to the Super Bowl and win.
I love it. I love that. I mean, that's the goal, right? I think that a Super Bowl, making it there and winning it, that's definitely a possibility. I think that this team is a team that can beat any team in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs, we're not afraid of any team. Let's just make that clear.
Nope.
You want to show that flag right behind you?
Oh, absolutely.
You underestimate the power of the Buffalo Bills.
Absolutely. People, and I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it the last 2 to 3 years, and now everything is coming into fruition. And a lot of the news pundits are starting to say the same thing. They're starting. I believe in Josh Allen. You have a lot of people saying I was wrong. I take it back. I take back what I said. You have a lot of people joining in on the bandwagon. You know what? Hey, the more the merrier. It doesn't matter if you were a diehard Bills fan from the '90s. It doesn't matter if you were a diehard Bills fan during the drought. I get it. No one is going to understand the pain that we felt. But you know what? If people want to come on the bandwagon and celebrate with us, hey, let it happen. Nothing wrong with that.
Definitely. Sticking with the playoff topic, though, because you said you have Super Bowl aspirations for this team. What would a Lombardi Trophy mean to Bills Mafia?
I tell people all the time that the only way I can really compare the happiness and level of joy and excitement that it would mean for Buffalo, take the World Series. And when Boston finally broke the curse, take that and times that by 100. And that's what it's going to mean for Bills fans. Because when you go through 4 consecutive losses in a row, despite the fact that no other team has ever done what we've done, and they just completely ignore that fact. They're just looking at the wins. But going through the 4 years in a row, going through the negative stigmas that are attached to our team, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. When it comes to 17 years of a drought, another record which we don't want, we need something for us. And that would mean more than the world to us. So that's what that would mean. It would be bigger. I tell people all the time, all we need is one. That's all we need. That's all we want is just one. And it'll be crazy.
Yeah, it would be crazy. And I mean, if there's one downside to winning the Super Bowl this year, it'd be that there's probably no parade, but the togetherness is still there, even through the pandemic and everything. It's clear that it's still there. Bills Mafia is a big, giant family spread across the world, and winning a Super Bowl, it just means so much to us. Like for me, I was not alive for the Super Bowl run where we went to Forest Payton. Unfortunately, they lost them all. But like I put up with 17 years of a drought, and it was painful. It was painful to watch. It was painful to endure. But I stuck with this team, go to all the games, endure the cold weather. There's nothing that Like it would mean so much to just see Josh Allen, see Sean McDermott, see these guys hoist the Lombardi Trophy for Bills Mafia.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if that parade gets postponed until the summer, I mean, something's going to happen to where we're all going to celebrate. It's going to happen eventually, and that's all that we want. That's all we care about.
Definitely, togetherness of Bills Mafia. Now I asked you what it would mean to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and playoffs with pandemic in this world right now. There's been rumors about a plan being in place to allow fans, like 6,000 or more fans, to go into Bill Stadium in New York. And if that was the case and they got the go ahead to allow fans into the playoffs, would you be trying to get playoff tickets?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, I'm a season ticket holder, but this is my first year as a season ticket holder.
Mhm.
The likelihood of me getting a ticket is probably, extremely slim. Um, but I mean, if the opportunity presents itself to where I can get a ticket, great. If I can get one extra ticket, that'd be great. Um, Even if I can't make it there, to be in the stadium, I would still love to be in Buffalo at that time. Funny enough, my military, my army.
Um, well, hopefully he's back on here. Oh, he's good. He's back.
Oh, sorry about that.
All good. We're good.
So I was saying, funny enough, my military drill is on that same weekend. Whether or not we have in person or whether it's 100% virtual, I would still love to be in the vicinity to celebrate with other Bills fans if it's possible. It all depends on what's going on at the time. If they allow bars or restaurants to be open, if they allow fans to be nearby, if they even allow some form of limited tailgating. Um, Regardless, I just want to celebrate with our people. That's the one thing that I would love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could be able to do that. I live north of the border, so there's no way for me to get down to Buffalo to even celebrate. So I'll just be watching with my friends, maybe my mom, and it'd just be a celebratory thing for the Buffalo Bills to be in the playoffs and hopefully advance further and further.
Absolutely.
We've got some comments here that I gotta ask you. So Sledge Hockey 101, always in the show. Shout out to him. What does Vader think of Skip's Baker comment? I don't know if you saw it, but Skip Bayless, he said that Baker Mayfield over Josh Allen because of his contagious charisma, uh, his winning intangibles, and there's something else that he said. But he basically just went on a ramble saying Baker over Josh Allen.
Honestly, I got nothing against Baker Mayfield. I love him as a quarterback. I'm sure, and obviously he's doing great things for the Browns. Obviously, I don't agree with that comment. I think it's pretty ridiculous. But I know one thing. I mean, the one of the main things that won me over was Josh's personality,
Mm-hmm.
especially when he was in that interview one time and somebody asked him about a New York question, saying being one of the New York teams, and he's like, the only New York team. I'm like, you know what? Mic drop. That's all it is. He is. And having looked at his background, some of the mini clips of his documentaries and everything, he is the embodiment of Buffalo. He can relate to other Buffalonians. No pun intended. Um, but he gets us, and we get him. So Baker Mayfield is a great quarterback in his own right. Anyone can say the same about Mahomes, Jackson, Brady, or whatever. Brady, okay, whatever. But Allen is Allen. He is our quarterback. I support him 100%, and I would choose him over any other quarterback in the league any day of the week and 10 times on Sunday.
I agree. He is a perfect embodiment of Buffalo. You hit it right on the head there. I mean, He's a rock star. I'm going to show a clip.
And another brilliant pass by Allen.
He's a rock star.
Yeah.
You were saying about his attitude, his leadership. He's a fiery leader. It's been demonstrated so many times. The
Yeah.
plays that come to mind are Dallas Thanksgiving, just 4th down and 1, driving through. He's
Yeah.
got so much heart. It's a perfect fit for Buffalo.
Yeah, there's that game. There's the Vikings game when he hurdled over another player. There's another game. I can't remember which game it was, but he decided to run the ball and he just like threw a defender to the ground and just kept going before he was tackled finally. I mean, he's a beast. He really is, and he's a fighter. And that's what Buffalo needs.
Yeah, 100%. Josh Allen. Josh Allen's perfect for this team. It's a match made in heaven. But let's talk a bit more about you, and then we'll talk more about the Bills closer towards the end of the show. Because as you can see, everyone can see, you're dressed as Bills Vader. You probably got some interesting requests. I'm sure everyone wants to take a picture of you. I know I did. So, what's the weirdest request you've ever gotten as Bills Vader?
So I try to think like the best way to really describe us, because it was a couple of years ago. Um, uh, the only thing I'm gonna say to keep it as clean as possible is that I was dating someone at the time. They had an idea, and that idea never came into fruition because it would be a little awkward. But yeah. But aside from that, that's probably the weirdest thing. But outside of that, I mean, people ask me to take pictures all the time. I've never declined a picture, on the exception of if someone actually pushes me or hits the top of my helmet because they think it's cool. Which, by the way, it's not. So people shouldn't do that. That's still technically considered assault, but people think that because we're trying to be in a persona that we're not going to defend ourselves. It's just not cool. I mean, you can't come to somebody and boop, and it's just not cool. But that's usually the only time I would decline, which has only happened once, as far as that declination. Aside from that, I mean, people, they always offer me drinks. I usually decline because I don't want to be too tipsy or anything like that in public. But I'm still a responsible drinker, and but one time there was a group, I passed them, and they were adamant I take a shot with them. So I said, okay, well when I come back, I'll go ahead and I'll do that. So I came back. They called me out like, hey, you said you're gonna take a shot. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do that. And they asked me, well, how are you gonna take a shot? So what I did was I took the bottom out here, put a straw right through here, set the shot, and put it back on, and it was good to go. And it was a peanut butter whiskey shot. And
That's awesome.
since that day, I actually have peanut butter whiskey in my cabinet. So yeah, it was awesome. Screwball. It was very nice.
That's awesome. That's so cool. You can do that with the mask.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it that made you become a Bills fan?
Oh, I was born into it.
Born
Like
into
there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I was born into it. My parents got me a Steelers jacket when I was a kid one time, and as a kid, I didn't have much when I was a kid, and I was happy to just get a sports jacket. So I preferred it to be Bills, but it was what it was. But yeah, aside from that, just seeing the players do their thing. I had a poster of Thurman Thomas on my wall. I was just born into it. So that's how I became a Bills fan.
Nice. I was just I wasn't born into it or anything. I just started playing football. It's kind of the local team. I love the colors, and I love the city of Buffalo. Like that's where I go for hockey games. I go there for football games. Obviously, it's a great place. It's a great community.
Definitely.
Um, so looking back at the past decade or so of Bills football, it hasn't been the best. So, what would be the best Bills memory of the past decade for you?
The best memory, hands down, is the Bengals game that helped break the drought. I was in my hometown of Canandaigua, New York, and I was at Eddie O'Brien's, and I was watching the football game there, and I was the only Bills fan in that bar, if I recall, and I saw a Browns fan, and he was watching the game, and when we saw the Bengals, receiver, I can't remember his name, but when Dalton made that catch, that pass and the catch, and he caught it, and not only that, but ran it into the end zone, I was just jumping everywhere. The Browns fan, he was jumping with me. We were hugging, we were jumping, we were just excited and ecstatic. It was amazing. So that right there was one of the best things I could have seen and experienced, during the past decade. And that was when I was back on leave from Saudi Arabia. So when I went back to the country, I gathered up, what Bills fans I could that were in Saudi Arabia. I said, hey, this is the first time we're seeing in the playoffs. If you all want to come, let's come. And we had a couple people come over, and it was a good time. So it was nice.
Yeah, that was a great day for Bills fans. All of us gathered at the airport. I wasn't there personally, but all Bills Mafia was gathered at the airport waiting for our guys to return. And I'm going to show a clip of that night because it was an awesome memory. I miss Kyle Williams a lot.
Yeah, he was definitely the heart of the team, for sure.
Definitely. That's got to be the best memory of the decade just cuz ending the drought, that was such a significant day. 17 years without making the playoffs. I didn't even watch playoff football from our Bills up to that point.
Hmm.
So, some more questions. Any questions here? Um, since you're Bills Vader, is Nick Wright your son?
That's a negative.
Another comment. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and a privilege. I've been doing this 18 years now, a mixture of active duty service and Army Reserve service. So it's definitely nice.
So you made the salute to service version of your helmet, correct?
That is correct.
So was that come out in the month of November, or is that something you wear just whenever you please?
No, so I try to bring it out the month of November,
Mhm.
and so that way I can, just try to. Sorry about that. I got something tangled up here. Yeah, I try to bring out every November. This would have been the first year I would have had it available, but unfortunately that was not the case. So I took some still shots or little, short video clips just to kind of display it, put it out there. But come next year, I'll definitely be walking around with it. So
That's something that we should all be looking out for. It's got a lot of meaning behind it, obviously.
yes, yes.
Um, so we were talking about best memory of the past decade, but the past couple decades for Bills football, it hasn't been the best. So who do you think has been the biggest draft disappointment of the past decade?
Uh, honestly, I gotta be honest. I honestly don't know. And the reason why I say that is because I actually didn't start watching the draft until maybe the summer of 2017. Um, so that was literally the first time I've ever watched the draft. So I honestly don't have enough knowledge to make a determination on that one. I think that some of our flops, in the past, and this is just it's no disrespect to any of the players themselves. It's just that they just weren't a fit for Buffalo.
Hmm.
One of them being EJ Manuel. I don't think that he lived up to the hype that that Bills Mafia had hoped. Sammy Watkins.
Hmm.
He was great when he was healthy, and I'm glad that he's having some success with Kansas City. But he just wasn't the fit for Buffalo. So I mean, those will be the ones that I know of that we've drafted in the past. That I just don't think worked out very well.
Yeah, I think my answer would be Sammy Watkins because we could have had Khalil Mack, and trading for Sammy Watkins, it just hurt to trade up from and pass on some other people that were. I mean, they've turned out to have better careers so far. Sammy Watkins is super talented, and like you said, it just wasn't a fit, and he had a bunch of injury problems, so that was unfortunate. But let's get to some more positive stuff. The Buffalo Bills' current management, their front office, has done an exceptional job of drafting with names like Tre'Davious White, Tremaine Edmonds, Josh Allen, of course. They traded for Stephon Diggs. How do you
Yeah.
think they've done?
Oh, they've done amazing. Like, what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. Like Whaley or Doug
Doug
Whaley or
Whaley.
whatever.
Doug
Yeah,
Whaley.
with all due respect, I have no idea what the hell he was thinking. I really don't. It's like, come on, man. It's like you have Brandon Bean now. You have Sean McDermott. They have a history versus Whaley and Ryan. Not feeling that. I mean, it's Bill season and we're getting excited and everything, but we didn't get any bang for our buck. We just didn't. There was poor decision making at that front office. I should say, with the management at the time. And now you have a manager that actually knows what the hell he's doing. He knows how he's so good at his job. Okay. He's got a thick enough skin to where people may criticize him for the decisions that he's making, i.e., getting rid of so many draft picks for Diggs. And guess what? Everybody has put that to rest. It's like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. We can see that as essentially a first round pick, which made perfect sense, when you really think about it. So McDermott himself, in the very beginning, said, trust the process. And that's exactly what I've done. And we've gotten progressively better every year. We got we got no playoffs to breaking the drought, getting the wild card, getting another wild card. Now we're AFC championships, champions. And on top of that, our record has been getting progressively better. Josh Allen's numbers have been getting progressively better throughout the years. We're breaking records, and we're about to break some more. If people don't figure out by now that our front office is a well-oiled machine, I don't know what to tell you. That's just being honest.
Yeah, great analysis there. Everything you said was spot on. We've gotten better every single year. That Brandon Bean, and Sean McDermott, every year that they've been here, we've gotten better as a unit progressively. We had the 1 year in 2018 that was a down year because 2017 we had to make a lot of moves and
Yeah,
start rebuilding our roster.
we had like 3 quarterbacks. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. People say they can count the year or not, but the season's the season. It is what it is. So and it was unfair for because that was Josh. If I recall, that was Josh's first year, and
Yep.
he was hitting the ground running. And it was what it was. But he did the best he could with what he had.
Well, the day one starting quarterback for our team that year was also Nathan Peterman.
I was at that game. Yeah, I was at that game in Baltimore. WTF, man. WTF.
So you were at the game in Baltimore. Have you gone to many games on the road?
I tried to. That game, I took my kids there. It was raining. We left early. They were younger at the time. I live right outside FedEx Field, so I went to Bill's game when they went against the Redskins at the time, now the Washington football team. Went to the Meadowlands. They have some interesting fans there, but still met some interesting people too. And I've been to Gillette. I was hoping to go to a few away games this season, but unfortunately, obviously, that didn't work out. But I do try to get to some away games if it's possible.
Yeah, I think that. Well, when you're at an away game, you can notice like Bills fans really invade other team stadiums.
Yes, yes, they do. I'm hoping to, meet up with some more fans, at those games also. I mean, but it also depends on, as far as the stadiums, because some stadiums have different rules. So, for example, they say you can't wear, helmets. So if I can't wear a helmet, then what am I going to wear? I might wear, just, regular jersey and be on my way. But other places, they're fine with it. But it's always great that there's a huge level of support at those away games, and the fans and the front office notice that, and they really appreciate that.
Yeah, I went to Lambeau, which was about a 15-hour drive from where I'm located.
Mm,
And that was a 22-0 loss, but the thing about Bills fans, like, there's so Bills fans so nice. I was at the stadium the day before, and I tried to get onto Lambeau Field. Like, they have a tour, and the tour was all sold out. But there was a Bills wedding, like a big bunch of Bills fans there that were there for a wedding, and there were some no-shows. And as I was walking out with my head down, someone's like, "Hey, here, you got an on-field pass to Lambeau Field." So I got
nice.
to go on the field at Lambeau. I got to go pass through the dressing room area and stuff. Just things like that. Bills Mafia is amazing.
They are. I completely agree.
We got some questions here for you, Bills Vader, from Cody. If you could bring back one player from the playoff drought years and put them on this team, who would it be and why?
Ah, man. So, that's a tough one. I know that, and I'm going to go back far on this one because if I recall, we haven't been since I think '99, and Flutie was the quarterback at that time. But there was a decision to be made to have Johnson start versus Flutie. So I'm gonna say I want Flutie. I'm a Flutie fan, through and through. I mean, there's nothing else I can really say on that one.
Okay. I think the person I'd choose would be Kyle Williams. I think
Yeah.
that he was like the heart and soul of Buffalo kind of guy. I think
Hmm.
he should be on the Wall of Fame in Buffalo. He should get his name inducted up there. He was just like I said, heart and soul guy, and he filled a big need at defensive tackle. That's a position that we could use, like a nose tackle, a big, thick guy. We could use that right now.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
Um, but uh, the thing, like, what do you think is the biggest thing that sets Bills Mafia apart from other fan bases?
I would say the people. I mean, everywhere you go, people are different. I mean, yeah, I get it. You're gonna hear that everywhere you go. But Bill's Mafia, we're a different type of people. Dalton helped us break the drought. We donated to a charity of it, for one of his causes. There was a on-air personality that was dissing the Bills. Somebody took it upon themselves to do some research on him, and come to find out, I guess his mom has some type of disease, and came up with the idea, hey, let's donate to this disease center, and I'm not entirely sure what that center was, but Mafia is making donations, and he goes on air and talks about it and practically tears up. I mean, people think that we're just a bunch of table smashers and, a big, sorority or whatever. And yeah, that's part of who we are. That's a part of it. But I mean, you have a pie and you have different slices of the pie. Some of that slice is going to be table smashing. Some of it's going to be, just, doing a little bit of, some friendly drinking and everything. Another section is just going to be about tailgating. Another one's going to be about being diehard fans. I mean, whatever part of the pie you want to be in or consider yourself to be, that is still Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia is family. Bills Mafia is a movement. Bills Mafia is just something special. That's all that can really be said on it.
It is. It is absolutely. I love everything you said, and I'm gonna say add some other things on there because you got to the charity stuff, you got to all these important things when it comes to life. But I'm gonna show clips of stuff that we endure when we actually go to the games in the winter, because it's obvious where we're located in Buffalo. It's pretty frigid, cold temperatures, and we don't care.
The
Absolutely.
snow blowers to try to get the yard lines a little bit more visible. I mean, this is just a wild scene in Buffalo. It is snowing in our booth. It's incredible from everyone's vantage point.
I've got to tell you, I played in a little bit of snow in Seattle. Nothing nearly like this.
You don't get that snow too many places in the NFL.
True. That's true.
That is like just Buffalo. It's such a great place, and the fans. That's what this whole show is about. Super Fan Saturday. Get some super fans like Bills Vader, and I just want to try to get as many members from the Bills Mafia community together, and we just chat about the Bills on this show. That's what it's all about. So, for anybody watching this right now, make sure you send in your questions for Bills Vader. Make sure you send them in, and anything that's on your mind, just send it in, and we'll let them answer. Let's talk a little bit about this game, because as Darth Vader, you've got some force abilities to see into the future and stuff. So, do you have a score prediction for this week's game against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football?
I'm gonna say if they start Cam Newton, I'm gonna say 32-21.
32-21? I like it.
32-21.
I like it a lot. I'm going to go with 31-17.
Okay, I can work with that.
I think that we should be able to score over 30 points, and I think that Josh Allen, these Bills, they know so many years of built-up frustration. They want to put a chokehold on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just choke them all out. I mean, I read an article earlier today. I believe that Belichick put, I think, 20 players on the injured list. So that's and actually I think that was on Capaccio's Twitter, I believe. So if that ends up being the case, that's going to be a huge advantage to Buffalo. And on top of that, they have Gilmore out the rest of the season. He's having surgery on his quad. We don't know if Cam's going to be starting or if their second string is going to be starting. Honestly, they might, in my opinion, they might as well just get rid of Cam. He's done. He's gonna, I just don't see him staying any longer than this season, to be honest.
Well, I was about to ask, what do you think the future holds for Cam Newton? Do you think that he's done as a starting quarterback? Do you think that he gets a starting position next year elsewhere?
I mean, if he does get a starting position somewhere else, I think that at this point in his career, he's been around for so long. I think that at this point, it's just going to be about what team can afford him if they are really looking for a starting quarterback. I know, say, New York, for example, they definitely need a new quarterback, and they're in talks of trying to get a new quarterback for the draft. It's nothing against their current quarterback. I honestly think that he's a decent quarterback. He's just not a fit for that team. But I mean, if they have a team that is still in search of a starting quarterback and needs a quarterback that's a seasoned veteran to hold over until they can get that quality draft quarterback during the draft, then I can see that. But aside from that, I honestly think that he's just going to be done. I don't know what team would possibly want him, to be honest. I'm surprised that New England even tried to grab him.
Yeah, I mean, his injury history, it hurts a lot. Like, I'll be honest, when the Patriots signed Cam at the beginning of the year, I was a bit worried for a minute, and then I'm like thinking about it the injuries he's had, the weapons, it's even less than what Brady had last year. So, I mean, I kind of dismissed the Patriots after week 2,
Oh yeah,
and
I did it before the season even started.
it felt really damn good.
Oh yeah, it did. It really did.
So, I think that might be all. We might have some question here. We might have a question here. Okay. Yeah, we've got a question here. So, you got to be Brandon Bean here for a second. You have enough money to make a decision. Which direction do you go? Do you re-sign Matt Milano and let Daryl Williams walk, or re-sign Williams and not Milano? Which would you do if you had to?
So again, I got nothing but love for our players. I really do. I got nothing but love and respect for them. But honestly, re-sign Matt Milano.
Okay.
You know, I think that he's done awesome. Combined with Poyer and combined with Trey White, you know, I don't see us if we maintain that trio. You know, get AJ Klein and everything. You know, keep Edmonds where he's at. I mean, our defense will get back to where it was. I mean, obviously Milano was out for a majority of the year due to, I guess, he had a pec injury or something. So, but now that he's back, you see that our defense has been getting progressively better. I'm not trying to say or imply that he is the reason that it's gotten better. I mean, he's definitely contributed to it. But with that contribution, I believe that our defense has seriously learned a lot of their previous mistakes, especially when it comes to the third quarter. You know, we're doing so much better in the third quarter. We're attacking. We're being more aggressive versus whatever the heck happened the first half of the year or the season. So, you know, I would definitely say re-sign Milano, keep him on for as long as we can keep him, for as long as we can afford him, and go from there.
Okay. I'm a big Matt Milano guy. I love Matt Milano a lot. I think that it's obvious when you look at him and you see him on the field, he's all over the place. He's always making plays. He's just such a big asset, a huge piece of this defense. And I mean, our defense without him, it's not the same. And our defense is starting to regain the 2019 form that we've all been desiring so much. And it's all coming to fruition at the perfect time, heading right into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So, as I said, this is Superfan Saturday on the Bills Bunker. This is something that I want to do more often. It might become a thing every Saturday. Not too sure. We'll see how many fans from Bills Mafia want to come on here. I've really enjoyed having you on here. You've been a great guest, and I'd love to have you on again. I think that getting the other Star Wars characters, the Bills Star Wars characters on here would be a great idea. Maybe get all you guys on here at once. That'd be super cool. There's so many other big Bills super fans. Got to get some more of them on here. But I'm going to give you the final say. What do you want to say to Bills Mafia to close out this show?
Well, I mean, first off, you know, thank you again for having me. I appreciate everything that you're doing with your show, I really hope that you continue to do what you're doing. Definitely reach out to all the other fans that are out there. You know, because you know they definitely help with making the base what it is, you know, today. And as far as you know, anything else that I can possibly say, thank everybody, you know, for your continued support of my character, for the things that I do. You know, it's because of you all that I do what I do when it comes to making kids laugh and smile, bringing nostalgia to adults, and just you know trying to bring people together. And in that same mentality, you know, just don't forget to be nice to each other, be kind to each other. I mean, you know, with everything that's been going on, I mean, 2020 has sucked. All right, it has. 2020 just sucks. Period. You know, and I tell people all the time, I don't care who you are, what your race is, what your sexual orientation is, what your politics are, you know, what color you are. I honestly don't care. I don't care. All I care about is people treating each other right and coming together and just showing nothing but love. And because of that, I love all of you. I love everybody. Continue just to be kind to each other. Keep doing what you're doing. show people what the mafia is about, and and continue to be safe out there. Whether you agree with the social distancing or not, whether you believe in what is going on with COVID or not, the sooner we all do what we need to do, the sooner we can be back in the stadium, the sooner we can get back to living our lives. So whether you agree with it or not, hey, everything. It's only temporary. It's only temporary, and I hope that people can put aside their differences and just come together. So with that, I appreciate what everyone does. I appreciate your continued support. Thank you for your show. Thank you for doing everything you do. And as always, may the Bills be with you all. And go Bills.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing us all together with the Bills Vader. It's such a huge thing. Super fans, thank you once again for your service. That cannot go understated at all. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for everything you do. And on that note, I will see you all next time I'm on here on the Bills Bunker. Make sure you check out Bills Vader. You're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Check them out everywhere. Thank you so much for watching this show. Until next time, may the force be with you. May the Bills be with you.
Yep, there you go. One or the other, if not both. We'll still take them both.
Thank you.